So now we're ready to add the backing. I've taken the hoop off the machine, turned it over, and I've given it a quick spritz with temporary spray adhesive, and I'm going to add my backing fabric. This is the only thing I've cut accurately. This is a 22cm square, so when I put it over the back of the block, it will overlap by 1cm all the way around. I'm trying to be very careful to make sure it does overlap 1cm all the way around. That's quite important for the finishing process. So I'm going to fiddle about with that a little bit just to make sure I'm happy with it, and I'm going to press that down. I've been careful to add some the spray adhesive at the corners, because these are a little devil for getting tangled up when you put it back on the machine. So I'm just going to put that back in like that and flip these back over. If you really want to, you can put this on your ironing board while it's still in the hoop and just give that an iron before you add the backing, but to be honest, it's not really necessary. Now if you want the back to look nice, it's a good idea just to drop the needle and pull the bobbin thread up before you start to stitch the quilting. This is a very, very simple quilting design. It's just diagonal lines, and because my blocks alternate between a pattern fabric on the inside and a pattern fabric on the outside, I've alternated the quilting as well. So there are two blocks actually to this quilt design. There's the odd block and the even block. This is the even block I'm doing now because I did an odd block before, and I'm going to join them together. So this is just quilting the whole thing. This is going through all the layers, through the pieced block, through the wadding and through the backing. It doesn't go very close to the edges, that's quite important for finishing off the backing. So we're about halfway there now. I love watching this bit happen. We are nearly finished. There we go. Now I'm just going to pop it out of the hoop again. There are two colours left in the design. We're going to use one of them to join this to the previous blocks I've made. But first I'm going to turn it over. Just check that I haven't got those naughty little corners tangled, and I haven't. And then on this side, that's the right hand side, and it's the right way up, so it's this side here. I'm going to fold that back so that I can see very clearly the edge of the outline. I'm going to slide that back into the machine. Making sure it doesn't roll back on again. So here we have the quilt block, the backing all ready. You might wonder why I haven't got an outline there to help me line this up with the other one. I used to always do this, and then I realised it wasn't really that much help, because you can't see it when you've got one block on top of the other, and also however careful you are lining the blocks up, sometimes that outline stitching is visible, and I always wanted to unpick it. So I've got rid of that stage now, and I've got here my blocks that I've already made. I've got 3 blocks already made, and I want to join that so it's like that. So that's an odd block, this is an even block, and I want this one joined to this one, so I've got to flip it over like that. I've got to flip this backing up like that. Now the machine knows exactly where it's going to stitch a line down here. All we've got to do is make sure it follows this line. Actually, it needs to follow it, but not be exactly on it. It needs to be just to the right of it, so that it doesn't trap the batting, the wadding. Now I'm just doodling with that until I'm happy that the needle is going to come down in the very middle. of the top corner. I'm just going to move it over ever so slightly because it was dead on the line, and I don't want it to be. I want it to just be slightly over. And I'm going to just stitch a few stitches. Have a look at that, see if I'm happy, and I'm going to just get hold of this, just make sure the thing's out of line, and I'm going to watch that stitch along, just being careful that it stitches all the way along, and as if by magic it will stop when it gets to the bottom. There we are. There it is, finished. And if I turn that back, you can see that block is joined to that block beautifully. Why don't you have a go?